Correct. Brought to you by us, fans like you, but mostly us.
I know why you choose to have your little group therapy sessions in broad daylight. I know why you're afraid to go out at night. The Batman. See, Batman has shown Gotham your true colors, unfortunately. Dent, he's just the beginning. And as for the television's so-called plan, Batman has no jurisdiction. He'll find him and make him squeal. I know the squealers when I see them. And
What do you propose?
it's simple. We kill the Batman.
If it's so simple, why haven't you done it already?
If you're good at something, never do it for free.
In a dark corner of the world, three men will work together to bring you a podcast like no other. This is Fanatically Correct, where the fans, the geeks, and the nerds are always correct. With your host, MSK, Yo Peace, and Omega.
Do a deep dive.
We can do whatever you want. We can talk about Nolan.
I said we do Nolan. So you can have it out in time for Oppenheimer.
All right, so this is Fanatically Correct. This is.
We can have a Nolan episode part 2.
This is
Very easily. Omega.
MSK.
Yo, peace.
And this is Fanatically Correct.
And this is Fanatically Correct. So we're gonna talk about Nolan, something different.
Our link tree.
Our link tree is linktree/fancorrect.
They're easy. And fan correct on all other handles, social media.
I mean, let me be more professional. Hey, our link tree is linktree linktr.ee/fancorrect. That's professional.
Yep.
Because people don't know how to, just go to linktree.
So just this right here. Read this right here, and we're good to go.
Gotta get used to looking at the camera.
Oh, shoot, I can do that too. Yeah, do this right here.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna put it up there. I'm not.
We're gonna put it down here.
We're putting everything down here.
Oh, down here.
Why is everything down here?
What's up here? It's gonna chop off our heads.
Oh. No, but if you have
click the link right here.
They gotta get used to looking at the camera. They don't know
Smash
which camera
the like
to look
button.
Like. So that's the main camera. Just look at that one.
Swipe left.
Look at that one.
Yeah, and then while we're talking,
Swipe up.
you know.
Swipe down. Swipe up.
We're not doing any of that. All right. So what are we talking about? We're talking about.
Before we get into that,
okay.
First time.
First time.
All three of us.
This is
in studio. No. First of all, it's the first time in a long time that three of us in person. Recording.
Yep. Well,
actually, this is the first time we record that it's not a panel. The three of us in person.
Yeah.
That is not a panel.
So this is a lot of firsts. So first time we're recording together in person. That's not a panel.
Yes.
First time recording in a studio. Together.
Why is your mic so low?
You mean low? It's not low. I guess
you can't hear. You can't.
I hear me. I hear me.
I hear you, but you're kind of like far away. I hear him kind of far away.
MSK is our editor.
All right, which one are you?
He's down. No, he's down one.
This one?
Down one, yeah. Go ahead. Talk now.
Okay, there we go. Oh, much better.
Sounds much better.
Yeah, but when I start getting really Cuban, that's why he did it, man.
Wait a minute.
I'm calm right now. I get. He knows he's preparing.
Yeah.
You know what it is? It's called adjust while we work. Why do you think we put you in front of it?
That's exactly what's going to happen. I'm just going to have to do
You got to adjust as we go. You got two jobs.
I'm actually, but go ahead, continue with the first. First time there's not a panel.
First time not a panel that we're together in person. First time we record together in studio. First time we record, and actually even a panel, it's always been a panel topic. So it's like, this is a topic like us, just us, no guests.
No guests.
No call-ins.
No fans.
No fans.
No fans.
So
in the back.
Yeah, but we got a button for it now. So it's like, so I don't have to ask.
That's the wrong button, but okay.
That's the wrong one. I think it was more like the
dingo and the babe. Family Guy. But usually we ask the audience to applaud, but now we don't have to do that. We can just laugh track.
Yeah, I think it's this one.
Just have a laugh track. There you go. We got a laugh track too.
Thank you.
There's a laugh track.
Press every single
I want a laugh track for every joke. Like I need it.
No, you'll get this one.
There.
I should have done that. I should have left it because I realized that the last time we were here, I kept like not letting it go through all the way.
No,
I would just stop it on my own.
You stopped it on your own.
Yeah.
Yeah. You next time, just
Yeah.
That's it. It stops automatically.
All right. So what are we doing?
So I think the topic that we will do, most likely this episode will come out before we just did SuperCon together.
Yes.
We did a panel, haven't done SuperCon together in like a decade.
10 years?
I think it might be a decade.
No, all three of us
together?
No,
All three of us together,
I'm gonna say
SuperCon?
6 years.
SuperCon. No, I think it was 2016.
2016. I'm gonna say
Yeah,
about 6
I think 2016 was the last time we did, so 6 years.
No,
so wow.
16.
Still wow.
I moved.
No, it's got to be more.
16.
Yeah, because the last time we did Sunrise,
17.
we did Sunrise Con, Comic Con this year, March 2nd, 2024. That'll be the new one coming up.
Yeah.
The first time we did
Don't
Sunrise
date
Con
these things because
together.
these things release in different
Yeah, well,
years.
we did but you're not releasing this in 2024. This better come out. We're doing a Nolan episode. We got to release it
No,
by
no,
Oppenheimer.
this is coming
There
out.
it is. You just said it. You just said it.
I'm
You
saying it
just-
because
Oh, no,
he's
now
questioning
we have to
timing,
spoil it.
and we have to have it
we
in
have to do
time
it.
for end of July. So this
Yeah.
is going to be way before March 2024.
Yeah.
But the point is that what was my point? No, but yeah, that we did Sunrise Con, and that's coming up. Like what I was just saying, on their 6th one, and we did the first one all together in person.
Yeah.
So that was already 5 years ago. That
was Sunrise.
yeah, Sunrise.
We did one super.
So I think it was
Yeah, we did
2014.
with Pete. Yeah, it
With
was
Pete.
a long
Yeah,
time
with
ago.
Pete. That's what I'm saying. I think it was 2014 that we did
Yeah.
SuperCon together. So it was a while. I think it was before Repop.
Or
Bought it.
15.
It was
Yeah,
right
for sure it
before
was before
Repop. Yeah,
Repop.
definitely, yeah, because the amount of panel
15.
passes we got.
Probably 15, yeah.
And just a quick wrap up. Sunrise Comic Con was awesome. We were out there together yesterday.
SuperCon.
Sorry, SuperCon. We were at SuperCon together, all three of us. We did Multiverses or Madness.
Yeah.
Odds are this episode's coming out before that because this one's going to need a lot less editing than that one's going to need.
Yeah. Nah, we'll find out.
Well, unless you just drop it raw.
I might just
drop
the
it raw.
panels,
Yeah.
you know.
Great
Unpredictable.
audience. Thank
Well,
you.
we had a very
Very
fun
good.
participating audience. I think the trivia thing is a stick. I think we'll do that from panels from now on.
Yep.
Start with the trivia, and then go into the conversation. That was a good time. It was fun, and SuperCon in general was fun.
Very hard questions, by the way.
Yeah, as well.
Yeah.
I had my wife
Yeah,
do
you
it
set
for
that
me
up.
because I was
Yeah.
doing so much
Yeah,
setting
I
up
think
for
some of those movies I
SuperCon.
didn't even hear of.
So I just told her what movies. Well, they're all multiverse movies.
Yeah.
So she went
Yeah.
by a list of
Great
15.
for her because she went into like.
Oh, she had no clue
questions.
what any of that meant.
No, I know.
That's
I know,
funny.
which is amazing.
She had a couple that I had to change it because one was like an Arrowverse one. I'm like, yeah, that's just from Green Arrow. That has nothing to do with Crisis on Infinite
Yeah.
Earths. And then the other one was from Doctor Strange, the first movie, not Multiverses of
Yeah,
Madness.
the better one.
So she swapped those out, and I gave her. Those are the only two questions that I gave, which is the one that the Gargantua,
Right.
that question I gave her in search, and then the one of who did not play Kal-El.
Yeah.
That was my question also because I figured right away, you know what? There's a bunch of Superman and probably people who just spoiler alert have seen The Flash, know that Christopher Reeve by now it's been spoiled.
Yeah.
There's a Christopher Reeve moment. Yeah,
Rest in peace.
but he wasn't. But he was in The Flash, not Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Was that a recipe for Christopher Reeves or the movie?
Of course.
Yeah, of course,
Rest in
of
peace
course.
For Christopher Reeve.
I don't know if the
Christopher
movie
Reeve.
was really bad.
I mean, the movie too.
Okay.
The movie too.
But oh god, but yeah. So I threw that in there because I figured that was be fresh on people's mind. A lot of people would think that it wasn't him. That oh no, he was just in The Flash. So
Yeah.
you probably didn't think, no, he was the only one not in Crisis. Tom Welling was in Crisis. The new
But he
Superman
was
was
in
in
Man
it
of
as
Steel.
well. He was. No,
Oh, but
well,
you.
he was
Oh
in
no,
Man
no,
of
he was
Steel.
in Smallville. He did
No,
a
he was-
Smallville thing.
Oh yeah, he
before he
did.
passed away.
That's right. Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Christopher Reeve was in Man of Steel.
No, he was
Yeah.
not. Who was he in Man of Steel?
Christopher Reeve was in Man of Steel.
In Spirit.
No.
They try to put his face when he
Oh,
was
you're
going
right.
up
He
into
was.
the
He
light.
was a man. They CGI'd
What?
when.
CGI his face
Yeah,
into the
that was
light.
pretty cool. Actually, that it
In
was
Man of
pretty cool.
Steel?
In Man of Steel,
When
he's
Henry
going-
Cavill was flying,
I did not know
flying
this.
into
the
the light,
wind. Yeah.
they CGI a little bit of Christopher
Yeah.
Reeve's face into it.
Why?
Why
As-
not?
Yeah, just as
It was
a.
like a little like respect.
Oh, that's
for
like a little
Superman.
Yeah.
passing of the torch.
and you know what? I like that better than what
like
they
a
did.
metaphoric passing of the
It
torch.
was.
Yeah.
Go back and
Yeah.
look at it.
Yeah.
You'll see his face a little bit in there.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. I actually remember that.
You remember that?
Yeah,
right?
I remember that. It's good.
See, you know what might have been cool if they would have just done something like that. If they were going to do that in The Flash anyways, it just have a flying moment, showing Superman flying instead of just focusing in on the one that they did, just kind of like just switch between them like flying.
Speaking of Man of Steel,
Yeah.
Because they had to CGI Tom Welling anyway. So.
speaking of Man of Steel,
Tom, yeah.
but the Flash and
What, The Witcher?
what they
Are we gonna talk about Nolan or what are we talking about?
no, but in the Flash,
We're gonna do Nolan. We're
in
just,
the,
like,
in the Flash.
Listen, the Flash.
Superman.
I'm telling you right now, the Flash was not a terrible.
Spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
The Nick Cage.
So, spoiler alert.
By now, either they saw The Flash and they don't care about spoilers
Yeah,
because
or
they're
just don't
not
care
going to
about the
watch
Flash.
it. Yeah.
Flash wasn't a bad movie. I enjoyed
No,
it.
I
enjoyed it
but
too.
I didn't enjoy the cameos, and if you take out
I
the
did.
cameos and you
I
take
like
out
the
the
cameos.
first 20 minutes of that movie would have been a
I'll
lot
tell you
better.
right now, and any of our previous fans, and if you go back and listen to our previous episodes and kind of do it in order, you're going to know I am not the biggest Michael Keaton Batman fan.
He was awesome.
Of my
He was
co-host,
awesome.
but I wasn't this.
Yeah.
Old man Batman, Michael Keaton is awesome.
He was great.
Is fantastic.
He was great.
I think taking Tim Burton out of the equation is what made it better. I think he did a better job.
I think when those movies came out, you might have. been aging out of like demo.
I liked
He
it.
was
I liked
aged
it.
out.
He was
No,
aged
I
out.
liked it.
At least
when
the second one.
It was like the
those were
Party Dish,
that was the dislike was on the rewatches. As a kid, when I saw them, loved them.
Okay.
Going back to watching, because
So
just
here's
like you
what I
guys did
thought.
to me with Cyborg. I went back and watched. I'm like, you know what? I
Wow.
actually don't like this. This is not. But
Versus-
in fairness,
You're comparing
I don't
Cyborg
know how
to
you
no,
watched
but
Cyborg
it's
and liked it.
It's also Dark Knight, the Dark Knight series, the Nolan series, which we're gonna get into Christopher
Yeah.
Nolan, so we can start with the Dark Knight series. Is so damn good that rewatching now is like, you know what? This is what I always wanted from Batman.
Yeah.
And the only thing that I'll give to Tim Burton is that probably beyond perfection would have been Tim Burton's grasp for like what Batman the Animated Series did, which is that gothic,
He had a
classic
style.
gothic style of Gotham with Nolan's version and story and everything else.
Yeah.
That might be like beyond perfection because Nolan brought it to real world. You know, he made a very real world Gotham, a very real world in general, which is why I think that wouldn't have been able to carry over into the Man of Steel universe, since it would have if they would have stick to Nolan's concept.
That
But
way. Yeah.
going into the Justice League that Zack Snyder was planning, that real world would have been too real.
Where they ended up.
Yeah.
What Nolan did as passing the torch and opening the gates for that type of world, if they would have grounded it a little bit, I think it would have worked.
Yeah.
Because we got introduced to Man of Steel through Nolan.
Yeah. I agree.
And Man of Steel was the most
And
grounded
Not
one.
only were we introduced to Batman, but we were introduced to Man of Steel. Don't get it twisted. That's not Snyder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His name is
It's
on
not.
the directing.
Well, he
but the thing
directed
is,
it, but you could
behind
tell.
the scenes,
Yeah, you could tell Nolan did a lot
it's
for it.
Nolan.
Here's
look.
the thing with the Zack Snyder, which we've talked about before when we did the Snyder cut, Justice League and all that, is that his best films is when he has a good producer that's not his wife, who's not someone who's coddling his vision, but that's a good producer that reels him in. You look at Dawn of the Dead, you look at all the
good
good
ones.
Snyder stuff,
All the good ones.
he's not producing, and it's not his wife producing.
Right.
When him or his wife are producing, he goes off the rails, and you get Sucker Punch, and you get his. But that's what it is.
So we're doing
He's great at
Snyder?
doing. No, we're doing Nolan, but that's my point.
Oh, okay.
Snyder's great at doing scenes.
Yeah.
He's doing it.
Well, he's a good director.
He is.
He's a good director.
He is
He is.
under control.
Yeah.
Where Nolan is the full package.
Yeah.
Great writer, great producer, great director.
Well, Nolan's just a film guy.
He is. He's in general. He's a renaissance man of filmmaking.
And filmmaking.
You
Yeah.
know, of filmmaking. He does all the jobs. He works on the cameras. He works on the editing. He works on and just everything because he has great vision. He knows what his vision is, and he knows how to put the right people in the right places. That's why Man of Steel is so damn good.
A great writer.
Yes. Yeah.
That he can.
Well, he puts himself around great writers too.
Yeah, that's
David S. Goyer
what I'm saying.
and-
He surrounds himself with good, and like, look, Man of Steel, and to give kudos to Zack Snyder, he had an idea of how he wanted to do things for that with the studio and all that, and they agreed that Zack Snyder was the guy for him to work with to make that happen. So it's not that Zack Snyder's terrible. He's just
No.
He's just
I'm not here to.
he's just someone that requires same thing to be surrounded by people that
Of course.
help
I think
him.
We all in any craft,
Of course,
should be surrounding ourselves with.
Of course.
Not just people that are gonna be like, yeah, that's good. We should do that. Run away with it. I need somebody that's gonna be like, hey, maybe we should try this way.
just to give you more ideas too.
Yeah,
Just,
obviously that's
and
that's
and
amazing.
Nolan's fortunate because I know he does a lot of the script writing stuff like that with his brother and his wife
Jonathan
as well.
Nolan and Lisa
and I think so.
Joy.
He's
So,
also
the good
surrounded.
brother.
Yeah.
Well, we're not gonna talk.
He's
Listen.
surrounded. Edit that out. I'm
Christopher
not
Nolan
trying to
has
get
2 brothers.
murdered.
All right. Jonathan Nolan, writer, great guy. His other brother, we're not going to talk about.
Yeah,
you could just Google that.
mention that.
You Google that on your own.
yourself.
Yeah, Google
Just
that.
click right here for the direct link. That's why I did it up here because
Yeah,
we're
yeah,
not going to
right.
put it. We're
That's
not
not
going to
gonna
put
be
it.
there.
So now you
It's
know
not
a
gonna
code
be
and we say here, there's nothing to click on.
Or maybe we'll. I don't know.
So for the audio audience, there's no link to click on. Don't go racing to YouTube now to try to get that link.
funny.
All right, so we're going to start with film 1 with Christopher Nolan. We're just going to jump
Do you want to
around.
do an order? Do you want to do a top 3
an order is
each?
kinda hard.
And then we do
Top
do we
3?
mention? Do
All
they
right,
even have
we could do a top 3.
I'm gonna look at an outline.
Today's top 3 because that's going to
Today's.
change outside.
Today's. Here's the
Well,
thing.
we're not gonna survive the next one. So at this
That's
point,
it. After Oppenheimer, it's done.
I'm trying to see what you guys could go on, but I'm trying to see if I have an outline for Nolan. But like with MSK next to us, number one, we're all big Nolan fans.
Yeah.
But I don't need an outline.
okay, but this is the problem with the Nolan top 3. Are we doing just directing and writing him, or we're doing
Director.
him just directing.
Let's just do director, and if he
Director.
happens to be a writer on it,
Yeah,
or
and
whatever.
producer
But,
on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think he produces all of
most
it.
of. I think he
Yeah.
produces all of them.
Yeah, look, when we did the Tarantino dive, we did just director.
Yeah.
We did some mentions.
And that was 2 episodes.
of
so
writing.
we're condensing this. But
Well, because we'll do a Nolan part 2 for sure. After
Yeah,
Oppenheimer.
eventually.
No more, like you said, we're gonna change. So this is the pre-Oppenheimer.
pre-Oppenheimer.
We'll do a post-Oppenheimer, and because like today, first time in the studio, so we had to figure things out and test things out. So next time, whether it's in studio, on Skype, whatever, we'll have more time that we could take it in really detail. We can go in order, not do a top 3. Like you said, most likely our top 3 might change depending on how good
definitely will
Oppenheimer
change.
is.
It definitely.
He tends to get better and better as he goes, and we could do that. So yeah, we'll do a pre-Oppenheimer, we'll do a post-Oppenheimer, and end up probably being with the second part much longer than the Tarantino
I'm
episode.
going to tell you why I think it's going to change. It's the rumor that I heard about the next movie.
The rumor that the theater is gonna.
That one is one of them, which...
Well, this can literally
it's getting
be
a
our
sequel.
final episode in that
This could be
case.
our final one.
Yeah.
Our final
This
everything.
could possibly, depending on when you're listening, to be the last podcast episode
Probably.
you ever listened to
I mean-
of anything.
Yeah, you just... The whole world might experience this at the same time.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
crazy.
don't be listening to this right now on Friday, July 29th.
Yeah.
At Thursday the 28th.
That's exactly when
at
I'm gonna
exactly
hear
4
it,
p.m.
But then the other one is, which is interesting, and I don't know if anybody heard it, but that it's a horror film.
Yeah, I did hear about that. It's
That I haven't
filmed.
heard yet.
If
Yes.
it's filmed like if it was a horror film.
It's a
That's how-
horror film.
Like people left.
Like, is it gonna
watching
be
it?
categorized as a horror film?
Yeah. No, it's gonna be a drama, but the way they made it seem, the reviews, it's
a
as if
horror.
it's a horror film.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and then it's gonna
That's-
black and
that's
white. Maybe those are the horror
interesting.
ones.
That's very interesting. I'm not gonna lie to
Yeah.
you. That's getting me even more, hyped for this movie.
All right, so we're doing top three each
Top three.
today. We
Top
could do
three.
that.
I do top 3.
rough.
So upcoming. Instead
All
of
right.
Oppenheimer's upcoming, it comes out
That's
this
rough.
month.
Go ahead. This is gonna be rough. I'm not prepared for this. All right, so
I don't think any of us were.
do you want
Just
to? Okay,
us.
we could start with all the movies. I know them by
Okay,
heart.
I'm gonna pull up. I'm gonna run down the list. We'll go with beginning. Okay,
Start with the following.
let's do a quick trivia.
Yes, do start with the follow.
So what happened
the
to-
other ones were
Yeah,
So
those
what
are
happened to
student films.
Tarantula?
No,
Short.
don't start with those.
No,
Those
no,
are
no,
good.
short.
Those are good. Dodo-Bug is pretty good.
Dodo-Bugs
actually.
is short.
Yeah.
So first one's we're testing.
So let's do the
So
following.
MSK is gonna show some impression. Now we have video proof to
Oh,
do
yeah.
it.
We
so-
could do. We could do.
Yeah,
this.
yeah. So
I could do this. All
so
right.
we have the following. What was the next
and
one
then
we did after that?
Memento.
Memento.
Okay.
Okay. After that, we have the one with Pacino. What's
There you go.
There you go, Insomnia.
He's good.
Insomnia.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
And then we have
like he's
Batman
looking at my-
Begins.
Yes.
I
Okay.
feel like he's watching this. Here
We
over
have Prestige.
here. Yeah.
Which I don't know where yet, but that's gonna be in my top 3. But go ahead.
All
Let's
right.
continue.
Prestige.
After the Prestige.
The Dark Knight.
Okay.
Inception.
Okay.
And then after Inception, we have see. Inception. Oh, were we counting Man of Steel as a producer? Or he didn't direct it.
No,
but-
he didn't direct it.
Okay, so after Inception, we have the Dark Knight Rises.
Bro, I feel like okay. Go
Okay,
ahead.
and then after that, we have. These are the two that is tricky. Which one did we see first?
Actually, 3 years apart. So
Yeah.
they weren't that close together.
Yeah. Let's do Interstellar.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, Dunkirk,
Yes.
and then Tenet.
Jesus,
there you go.
where's that button?
So, we did it. We did it. That took longer than I thought it would, but we said it.
So we're tagging Christopher Nolan in this, so you can be impressed.
Yeah,
by,
we're tagging it, and
the
then
Phantom Menace. I would
Yeah.
not have gotten that
That
order
is
correct.
really good, man.
I would not have gotten that order correct.
So the years, 1998. No,
you know, the run times, the box
run times.
office.
The fact that he's saying
box
1990,
office.
I feel like he knows his years.
His
Yeah,
favorite flavor of
probably
ice.
do. I
His
probably
favorite
do.
flavor of ice cream. His address.
Yeah. I slipped on the
Nolan's gonna hear
Insomnia
this
one.
episode and get a restraining order on MSK immediately.
You didn't flip on the Insomnia. You know
I just,
who it was
I
in
knew
it.
what to do. Yeah. Robin Williams also. That movie's
I think I'm wrong about my top 3 when I
Yeah,
said
you
Prestige is
keep
in
looking
it.
at this-
Think
at
about
this
it.
thing.
It's hard.
I think I'm going to choose top 3
Yeah.
right now.
I
That's
have
what I'm
3
gonna do.
on top of my head
Yeah.
right off the bat.
Yeah.
But
I'm
we'll see what you guys
I'm
say.
sticking with it. My third.
Third. Let's
Okay.
do you third.
My third is Prestige.
Your
Prestige.
third is
And
Prestige.
depending, there's definitely days out of the year where it'll be my number 1.
The Prestige is great.
I'm
man.
telling it just
It's a great movie.
Okay, here's the thing. I'm someone who I'm a person that unfortunately is really good at guessing twist endings and surprise endings, and I had no clue in that film. Especially because what was beautiful, it's so many Prestiges in the Prestige.
Right.
That the whole time the Prestige is that, you have a double twist, and I'm almost figuring out the other twist, which is like this guy's cloning himself.
Yeah.
I have a feeling he's killing himself. The original dies
Yeah.
every time, and then like you're so focused on that reveal that Bale's character, spoiler alert, listen to a Nolan episode if you haven't watched Nolan movies.
No, for
It's
real.
what he originally thought it was.
Is a twin.
It's a twin, which is
twin.
what Hugh Jackman thought from the beginning.
Yeah.
It has to be a double.
Crazy.
It has to be a
because
double.
how do you do it? And then he thought that's the way he was doing it, through science.
Yeah.
Because the last thing he could even think of is how much two people could commit to that.
Yeah.
To commit to an entire life.
Yeah.
Of two people sharing one life to the point that their spouses didn't know.
Yeah.
To their love interest didn't know.
That's crazy.
That
It's
no
a
one
deep,
could
crazy
know
movie.
that they were the same person. And like there's not many movies that blow my mind as well as that one did. And just the performances from both Christian Bale and Hugh Jackman in that film, insane. Michael Caine, of course,
Yeah.
everything he's in with.
So which one was it at the end? Which Christian Bale character? Was it the father or the who do you think it was?
What, that ended up being in prison?
Yeah.
It was by guaranteed the father. It was
Guaranteed?
Yeah. Yeah, he said he cared so much about the guy. But they both did love
That's
him.
that's what
They
I'm saying.
did. He did. They both loved him as a father, the kid.
And
but,
who was
but
the one that made the mistake with?
But I feel that because who got shot? Yeah, you know what? Now we're gonna rewatch it like 8 times.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm glad it's in my top 3. I'm really glad it's my top
Yeah.
3 because it's one of those films that you get to watch and discover or change your opinion,
might change.
your theories on it. So yeah, I'm definitely, my third is definitely Prestige. It's so damn. Am I the only one that's gonna have Prestige in his top 3?
I think so.
Oh wow! So
Top
I'm
three,
glad.
I
I'm
think
glad
so.
I'm doing it.
I think so.
But yeah, because it's hard. Because
man.
there's times where like
There's so many.
I'm
so
looking at this list, and
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now, I am forcing myself to pick.
All right, so hold
On the
on. Are we
top of my
doing
head.
3, 3, 2? Like, are you
Yeah,
just gonna-
3, 3,
Three,
3,
three,
2, 2, 2.
So
1,
who's going
1.
next? You want to go next?
I'll
or-
go next.
All right,
I'll go
ahead.
next because
This is gonna
I
be
feel like you're
this
the
is
biggest
hard, man.
Nolan.
This is
the
hard. This
Nolan
is
fan. So
You're giving him time.
You're gonna have the hardest
I
time.
want to watch the movies right now and just pick again.
So I'm choosing. I'm pushing my foot down. I'm saying that I'm choosing this. I don't care what happens later on. I'll probably change it again, but it's gonna be Inception.
Inception number 3. Okay.
That's not my number 3.
All right.
That's a good one.
This is fun. This is great.
I
This is fun times.
I loved everything about Inception. I like the concept. I enjoy all the actors in it. I enjoy the action, but then the fantasy of it, which is putting all that together. Nolan films for me are so like, it depends on the mood that I'm into.
Exactly.
Which
yeah.
is why.
Which is why this is hard.
Which is why this is hard, because I could ground myself into something Dunkirk, because I love war movies and I love that movie, and I've seen it I don't know how many times already. I've seen that movie a lot, but I'm putting my foot down. I think I enjoy Inception so much that I'm putting it on my top 3 because it's a great movie. Again, that whole Inception thing, and then it's one of those movies that, again, it's a Nolan film, so it leaves you into you tell me what you think the ending is. Which I love that. I love that.
What's the ending? What do you think the ending is?
I think the ending is, I personally think the ending is he actually was able to get out of there.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. All right.
I'm with the optimism too in that. I agree. I feel that it's a wobble.
It's a wobble.
I really feel that was a wobble
Yeah.
at the end.
It was
Didn't
so
he
subtle.
recently?
It was very
Didn't he
subtle.
recently?
So subtle. No,
It was
he's
very
not gonna
subtle.
ever
Did
say
he
what it was.
clarify it?
No, he's never
Yeah,
gonna
I
say it.
feel.
He talked about it. I did read something where he was talking about it, but he still didn't tell
He's
you
never
what
gonna
it
tell
was.
you because he wants this.
Which
He wants us to talk
But
about
I
it.
enjoy
Yeah.
that. I enjoy, dude, watching that in IMAX, I was blown away. I think one of it was either you or one of you guys. I think we all saw it too. I don't know what it was, but I definitely enjoyed it.
No, I definitely saw that on my own because I was crying.
Yeah,
so
You cried?
Oh, I cried.
Good
I
job.
cried.
Inception. No, I saw that just me and my wife.
Yeah.
and,
I know I saw it in IMAX.
I saw it in IMAX also. I saw it at the Sawgrass Mall. We had a lot less IMAX options.
Well,
then.
back then,
I
we
saw
didn't
it the
have-
second time in the Discovery, which
And
is
that was
where we
ba-
saw Dunkirk.
Yeah,
And I
and
think
by
we
then,
also saw it in the The one
Sunset
in the
Place
mall,
has one also.
in the mall.
Aventura.
The one that they used to serve you food.
Yeah,
Cinebistro.
Cinebistro.
Yes.
I might have seen it with you.
Wait
actually.
a minute. No,
Saw
Man
the
of Steel I
Cinebistro.
saw with
The
you.
first
at
time I
Cinebistro.
saw
Cinebistro.
Inception was at Cinebistro.
You saw it
at
together.
12 o'clock on Thursday.
I think we
Yeah,
did.
that was back
that's how
then,
we
so-
did Man of Steel
Yeah.
on a
So,
Thursday midnight.
Yeah,
also.
Cinebistro.
And that was before we had assigned
Yeah, I saw
seatings
that one
and
at
stuff.
Sawgrass. I remember specifically because of Sawgrass.
Maybe
and
eating and watching the movie also.
Yeah.
I saw it the second time at the Discovery Zone because I remembered that was the first and last time I watched an IMAX at Sawgrass because that was. I mean, I don't know if they've fixed it up or anything new, but it was such a terrible IMAX theater. Like at least it was an IMAX screen. It was big and all that, but it just felt like I feel like this was not the full IMAX experience, and it wasn't. I went over to and saw the Discovery Zone. The big one. We saw Dunkirk, and it was much better.
I'm so mad right now.
Yeah, it was
I'm
much
so
better
mad right now. Nolan,
because that's what you want to see. That's what you
I
want to
think
see.
you need to invest in more 70mm IMAX
all around the world. Yeah.
because like
I get to see
I think there's like
Oppenheimer.
10.
I don't know.
I think there's like
maybe
10 in the
because
nation.
maybe because the
Yeah.
IMAX I am going to isn't that I'll live.
Yeah.
Maybe.
maybe it's because it's
maybe
so
those
big.
maybe those are the ones
Maybe
you're
you
going to
survive.
where you're
It's so
not
big
gonna-
you're able to survive this one.
That's probably what it is.
But no, yeah, definitely Inception. is for
Inception
me.
number 3. All right. Man, this is rough. You guys don't understand how rough this is, right?
No, I know it.
Ooh. Okay, number 3.
You're the guy that's gonna go very old school.
This is well. The thing is, 3 is even harder because I'm telling you right now, you'd be surprised what movie I've watched the most from Nolan.
I might not be.
I know which one I've watched the most.
But it's
So
not necessarily my favorite, but it's the one I watched the most.
I know, but I know. I think I know which one is the one you watch the most.
Okay,
Like,
well,
and I think that one might be one of our
ooh,
first.
this is hard, man. This is really, okay. So number 3,
hold
as
on,
of
do you have a
today.
decision? Okay, you're saying so? Is your number 3 the one you've watched the most?
No.
Oh, okay.
Okay, no.
I want to guess what that is.
Yeah, we could guess what that is.
Okay.
It's not gonna be
How
on the
is
list.
that not the number 3?
It's not gonna be on the list.
Oh, because
Okay.
it's not gonna be on the list.
But it's the one I watched
the
the
one
most
he's
because I
watched the
still like
most.
it.
Okay.
But this is gonna be rough.
Okay.
This is very rough.
Okay, hold on.
All right.
Go with your number 3,
All right,
and then
number
I want to
three,
see
as
if we
of
both
today-
are thinking the same thing as the one you
As
watched
of
the most.
today, I'm gonna go with Interstellar. That's number 3.
Interstellar.
All right.
Yeah.
Perfect soundtrack. Perfect story with the daughter and him being the ghost from the get-go. I mean, I thought it
full
was
circle
My
with
wife
that.
full
cannot
circle.
listen to this episode because she has not seen Interstellar.
Oh,
My wife had to.
spoiler alert.
No, she's not gonna listen, which is better because I'm gonna show her.
Yeah.
That's the next Nolan film that I have to show her.
You have to show her an
Yes.
Interstellar. Actually, it is very. I mean, it's very deep, man.
Yeah,
It's very
the,
deep.
The,
It's just-
the thing and why Interstellar is not going to be my top 3 is the pacing. I love it.
Yeah.
But I'll also to be a little picky on what I love and how I'm affected. Litmus test is any movie like that. My wife usually falls asleep during the theater,
Yeah.
and she did. She loved it though when we saw it at home because we were to pace it. It was
Yeah.
like watch an hour, go make a snack, or do something whatever, and then sit down and watch again, and then sit down and watch again. It is the pacing because it's so much story, it's so deep, it's so cerebral, intellectual, and thoughtful and clever.
very clever
film.
I
And
mean,
everything about it, but that's the only thing. It's got a pacing that is not a big stray from what he does. It's
Right.
very similar to all his pacing. Just that particular film, because of the subject matter, it does feel like a lot of waiting because it is
Right.
a lot of waiting. You know what I mean? Like they are
Yeah.
waiting. They're on a ship waiting for the ship to get to its destination. They're on a waiting, and then what's amazing
and it's a
about
lot
the
of
waiting-
setup to
It is.
finding out what exactly the ghost
No,
is.
and you have to
the-
do so much, and that's what makes the film so good. Is like so much character development.
Yeah.
And
with
and
I mean, even with the son, which is barely in the movie.
Yes.
Even that has a
they
little
had
bit
to
of a
take the
character
time to
development.
do it, and they
Yeah.
had to take the time to do it with each version of them, the child version of them
Yeah.
and the adult version of them, so you can feel that gradual shift because it's a big jump.
I'm going back
You
to
know,
watch that movie.
yeah, they
Well,
don't
that
give you,
movie's perfect.
they don't
I
give
mean,
you
I
like
think
kid,
tomorrow I'll watch that
teenager,
movie
you know.
with her.
Yeah, I think it's very emotional just on both sides. Seeing the dad find, he. Can I
No,
spoil
no,
this
no,
for you?
Yeah,
She's gonna watch this?
spoiler.
spoiler
Okay.
No, there's no more
This is-
spoiler
this is
alert.
no
So
spoiler alert.
him coming back.
Look, one last time. Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert. Spoiler
Yeah.
alert.
Ooh, look
Say,
at that.
all
You're gonna
Nolan
do that
films.
on
So maybe I'm thinking
Yeah,
about it.
yeah,
But,
I like it. That's why I said it.
So, him coming back, seeing his aged daughter, and then she seeing the younger version of her dad. It's just very emotional. And then
And freaking Matt
that
Damon.
was my next. Matt Damon.
What was the most recent one?
It's that
He just did one recently again, another
obviously,
freaking
that was
Matt
not
Damon.
His first.
No. It was not his first.
Effing Matt
Saving
Damon.
Private Ryan.
Right. But
No.
I'm saying,
No, yeah, Saving Private Ryan.
Private
is
Ryan,
first.
and then which
Freaking
one's
Matt Damon.
what I'm saying is, this is
Scotty doesn't know.
Scotty
this
doesn't
is the
know.
one
Yeah.
that he starts.
Fiona
I
and
think
me.
after this movie,
He kept going. It was a
kept
streak.
going
Deadpool?
over and over
Deadpool
and
2?
over.
Deadpool 2. And the thing is, like, the majority, Deadpool 2 is not so bad, but majority of the time, his freaking Matt Damon moments are, he's a son of a bitch.
It was the one that came out on HBO Max.
There's one recently.
The one at
at
HBO Max that came out.
There was one recently. I know exactly.
I'm trying to remember what it was.
One
We were talking about
recently.
what was the recent
When
freaking Matt
when I
Damon.
literally said that. I
Yeah.
feel like he's gonna come on.
Well,
a
he's gonna
TV
be an
show.
Oppenheimer, but it's not a freaking Matt Damon
On
because
a
they already
TV
showed him.
show.
I think so. Yeah, he's an Oppenheimer, but he's a
Yeah.
main character. We already know that
Yes.
coming out the gate. But there was another one recently. I can't
Yes.
remember now. Where I went, "Are you kidding me?"
Another
Like,
Matt
it's like
Damon,
this
yeah.
is their freaking.
Oh,
Matt
it was
Damon.
Thor. He came up
Yeah,
as one of the
twice
actors.
in Thor.
Yeah, twice in
he
Thor.
did in Thor 2
Yeah.
and no Thor 3.
Yeah.
3?
2 and 3.
No, 3 and 4.
3 and 4.
3
One
and
of those
4,
movies don't
3
count.
and 4.
Yeah,
No, it's
One of
3
those
and
movies
4.
don't count.
3 and 4.
Yeah, Interstellar number 3.
Yeah, but yeah,
It's great.
he's
Soundtrack, by the way, is
Amazing.
Amazing. One of the best soundtracks. Second best soundtrack from all his movies.
Matthew McConaughey, incredible performance. I mean, very not the biggest part for Casey Affleck, right?
Casey
Was his son.
Affleck, yeah.
Great
And
performance,
and the younger version of
yes.
Casey Affleck was this kid in Dune. What's his name?
Chalamet?
Chalamet, yeah. Timothy Chalamet.
Oh. I didn't. That's right.
Yeah,
I
he was
didn't
only in set
realize
for
that.
like 2 days, but yeah.
Yeah, nice. But no, but it's just incredible film. Incredible film.
Yeah,
Great
yeah.
story. Great concept. Just the idea of all of it is very physics, theology
Yeah.
strong. You know, it just it
The way
really
they did
is.
the black hole.
Everything.
It's very
man.
accurate.
And the
They found
con-
out it's
The
very
concept
accurate.
is what that is.
Yeah.
It's
And,
so
and then the
deep.
concept of the closer to it,
Yes,
how time runs
yes.
there. I mean,
Yeah.
just all of that, just amazing.
Yeah, when they're in the water planet and it's like it's very
Oh,
like
that's-
hectic.
Yeah,
That's
the every
amazing.
24
He's
hour
getting nervous
cycle.
because he's losing time
Yeah.
and
Dude,
he knows
that's
his daughter's
amazing.
aging.
It's
So
amazing.
Beautiful film.
yeah, it's number
Beautiful
3 for
film.
today because tomorrow's probably gonna be.
Man.
It's crazy.
So not the same top 3. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
So your top 3.
Top 2 is gonna.
Oh, so we're going this way. Let's do this way. So you want
Wait.
me to go this?
Yeah, because
No,
I
I
did
already
3,
gave you my
3.
top 3.
So you gotta go.
That's
2.
right,
You gotta go 2.
Yeah, it's okay. So
Did you forget I gave you
my
my part 3?
Yeah.
Jesus. Inception.
Inception. That's why, because I was like, oh, that's right. It was like, wow. Sorry, I gotta take a quick
It's not fair.
second
You both are looking at the
because
list.
this is hard for
like what?
this not.
It's very hard.
No,
it's
it's-
very hard.
I like I said at the beginning, I'm choosing this right now. This is what it is. Like
Yeah.
I already got the top 3 in my head. I'm not switching from this.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna switch from this. This
'Cause
is what
I
I'm
want-
giving you right now. And
I know what I
am not
want.
wrong.
I know what I want my number 1 to be,
But it's not gonna be that.
but it might not be that.
I know what I got.
Because it
my
might
number
have to
I
be
already
my
got
number 2.
one. My number 1 is yeah.
Oh
Go ahead.
man.
my number 1.
You know,
is,
in fact, my
yeah.
number 1 is probably the one that I like for sure. It's my number 1. Everything else is kind of hard to pick. We should have done
The
top
one
10.
I have to watch
should've.
over and over. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. My
Top 10 would have been
my number
easier.
2. I know. Oh yeah, it's just all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, just each individual order.
Top
yeah, my
20. Let's do top 20.
Top 20.
Just go down the list.
You see, I
my
have one yet.
my
Top
number
20.
2 is Dark Knight Rises.
Dark Knight Rises.
Dark Knight.
Oh,
Not Dark,
wow.
that's the one that was on here.
That would
Dark
have been a
Knight.
shocker.
That would have been
shocking.
yeah, that would have been dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, and not that dumb because it's bad or anything, but because it's and no matter what, but I gotta say it because you could say that it's because of Heath Ledger, but Heath Ledger is because of Christopher Nolan. Like who else really saw that from him?
Yeah.
And who else saw that version of the Joker? There is no other way. Like honestly, when there was rumors about William Dafoe and things like that,
Which would have been great.
exactly.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, yeah, like that's because Mark Hamill's all I really had for like what a perfect Joker was, you know. And I'm like, so they got to put that on screen. Like if they're gonna do Joker live action, they got to put that on screen. What
Right.
he is, the purple suit with the, you know, and they did, but just not that animated way. And then sadly, the only other exposure I had to Joker, Jack Nicholson,
Right.
which is the purple and you know, but that the loud way, not just like kind of like off, like not the scary clown, the funny crazy clown. He still was that overly animated, funny character, but Mark Hamill in the animated series did it in a way where there was still something disturbing about it.
Yeah.
But it was very kid
course.
safe because he was a Joker. But there was like that guy in real life would
It
be
went
kinda
over their head,
creepy.
yeah.
And Nolan again basing in reality, and I think that's where Dark Knight Rises kind of takes a step. Like Dark Knight Rises of the three is the one that kind of gets away from reality the most.
Well, it gets more comic book.
Yeah, it gets exactly. It gets more comic booky and there's more to it. But even then, he was smart about how he did the Rise, you know, the Lazarus Pit and all that to still make it metaphoric and not directly an actual Lazarus Pit and all that. But in Dark Knight, the fact that he had a vision for Joker, he had a vision with the person that would be able to pull that off, and then he told us a story in a way that there's no way I really saw that would be the story right after Batman Begins.
Right.
Of already jumping into a seasoned Batman and going into a situation with Two-Face. Didn't even know we were going to have a Two-Face.
Yeah.
And that movie going into it, like, oh, Harvey Dent, okay, they're setting up for the next to be a Two-Face, but that they worked it in that a very small Two-Face situation at the end would work perfectly,
Yeah.
and that the Joker facilitated that. So even then, just completely deviating, you know, in some of the origins of these characters, and then that in the writing, you know, whoever him and you know who he worked with in the script of the story of he has no story. And telling that, because in the comic books, it was never exposed that he didn't really have an origin story.
Well, he did have an origin, but it was different versions that he wanted to tell you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, to make it say that you don't know what it is.
Right.
But that any of these, and honestly, I feel that that's great inspiration and would make sense of what they did with Joaquin Phoenix and the Joker.
Yeah.
Is that, tell a story that of what would drive a person crazy.
What do you think?
And these are any of these traumatic stories.
Could be
you
the
know,
Joker.
the few, and who knows how many others. I'd love to see like his first
Well,
outline of how many different ideas he had to do that in the movie of different stories that they were going to work. Like, okay, we'll do this one, and this one. Maybe it's 30 of them. But just the concept of take someone and break them mentally, emotionally, and you don't know because even one of them could be like he's just for shiggles. So like he just decided he's gonna do this stuff, but like. The concept of either society or the mob, which is that's what the for the I almost felt like it was kind of a nod to Mask of the Phantasm.
Mask of the
where it was like because he's talking about his wife was killed by the mob or whatever because of the gambling debts that they scratched her face, and then in that the Joker facilitated her story by being the mobster.
Right.
That and like so I really enjoyed that. And Dark Knight just we got Batman Begins. We had this world, this version of a superstore, and then he notched it up with a real supervillain.
Yeah.
Because what I even loved about Batman Begins is that he did Ra's al Ghul and he did the
so great.
so
such a great.
It's a great start.
It's
such
great.
a great
It
start
is.
to it. Yeah.
With a background like you're into, like like that whole introduction to how he became Batman was so well done.
It's still the best origin story.
So
No, and
well
it's
done.
amazing that he was already when he got founded by the League of Shadows. He's already been trained as a fighter.
He's already been
trained.
fighting
They
and
just took
doing
him
his
to
thing.
that next level, and then you find out it's a manipulation. That he was
Just to get him to
seeked
do-
out, and he was manipulated, showing the grand scheme of Ra's al
Yeah.
Ghul
Right.
of like this guy's like
He's a genius.
genius,
Yeah.
like made this situation happen in this city, and then basically followed this
And
kid
made him
through his
become-
life
And
and made
he's-
him
yeah.
Batman.
Then he-
You know what I mean?
then
Like,
So is that your number one now?
yeah,
or-
no, not my number one.
Because you're saying
no,
it-
no,
you're
it's
very
not.
deep
No,
into it. You're very
it's
deep
not.
into it.
No, because
Yeah.
what I want to be my number one has to be my number one. But
Yeah.
I mean, honest, there's gonna be honorable mention. You know,
There's gonna
wrapping
be
up.
a
This
'Cause
is
it's hard.
crazy
So you're-
because I think we're leaning towards the same thing, you and I.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
we have the
Which
same
I
number
don't
one, but I'm
like it.
fine with that.
No, and we also probably have our same number 2.
Oh, really?
Oh.
You're gonna also go with
Oh.
Dark
I'm
Knight.
going Dark Knight for my number 2. I think, which is crazy because Dark Knight has always been pretty much my number
Were you
one.
already leaning that way, or did I convince you?
No.
Yeah.
You were leaning that way
No,
too.
I had my top. When we
Yeah.
said top 3,
You had yours
I
in mind.
went, I looked
You
at the
had
list,
number 2.
and
That's
I go,
it.
I just made it.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to emphasize more on what you said. I think you said pretty much most of the things that need to be said about that movie. There's problems in it. A lot of people find problems in every movie. Yes, there's problems in it. But that movie, that Joker, that film,
Why
just-
so serious?
It changed.
it
It
changed
changed the game.
the whole
It changed the game.
superhero. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like it changed actors to be like, hey, get into character.
Yeah.
Find a character for this. It's a comic
Well,
book, but find something else.
Just
than-
one last thing to elaborate on: the action sequences, the fight sequences
Yeah.
in that film. like Captain
That's-
America, Winter Soldier. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
different genre, but the action sequences, that gritty on the streets. You know what I mean? Like that. I mean, just. Oh, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
just the scene with the Batmobile and the truck, and he's
it's-
launching at him, and the cycle, and you know he's just shooting at him. I mean, just those moments, like that's like the only other movie.
Yeah. And there's no music in those
superhero-wise-
moments, by the way.
Yeah, exactly, which is genius.
It's just sound effects.
genius.
Yeah.
Genius. It give you the full impact.
The
and
casting
Yeah.
in that movie was crazy.
Oh, it's great.
Because I mean, if I
Gary
start
Oldman.
naming people, I mean Gary
Oldman.
Oldman.
Gary
but
Oldman,
if you
yeah.
start naming just people, you're like,
Yeah,
dude,
everyone
that
involved.
casting
Yeah.
was
Eric
incredible.
Roberts. Even Eric Roberts.
Eric
did it.
Roberts.
It's great.
Yeah. I'm saying
It
Eric
is.
Roberts
It's
is a
great
great.
in that movie.
It's
You know?
crazy.
Nolan likes to use older actors too,
Yeah.
like just
It's
there.
It's just one of those.
Tarantino does it too. Like,
Yeah,
there's a lot of things.
Tarantino does a
There's a lot of
lot.
things that the
So,
greats
yeah.
have in common, like Tarantino and
Yeah.
Gunn with music. Like the
Yeah.
greats all have a lot of things in common. What's your number 3?
Number 2.
I mean, sorry, number 2. Yeah, number 2.
number two,
wait a
number two.
minute.
I went back to number
so-
3.
All right. It's
you-
Dark Knight. It's Dark Knight.
It really is.
It really is.
Wow.
It's
So-
crazy.
This is really rough for me because I really, really enjoy Batman Begins. That's the one I've watched the most
Right.
out of all his movies, Batman Begins.
Oh wow.
Because when it first
That's
came
not
out,
what I thought it was.
That's not what I thought it was
yeah,
either.
it's the one I
What did
watched
we-
the most.
Okay, I gotta say. Wait, on 3. 1, 2, 3, Insomnia.
Tenet.
Oh really? I thought it was Insomnia.
I love Insomnia.
I know you
Insomnia's
do,
good.
and you talk about it a lot.
Yeah, you know
so I
why? Because
always
no one
thought-
gives it credit. It's
Yeah.
and it's funny on the list. Insomnia and The Dark Knight Rises might be the worst movies he has. Those are great movies.
Yeah.
Insomnia is a great movie.
No, it's a great movie.
It's a great and it's a remake. And Robert Williams,
Yeah, no.
Al Pacino,
Al Pacino, yeah, incredible.
Hilary Swank. It's a really good movie. So actually, that should be a
Doesn't
necessity.
get, doesn't get a.
So Batman Begins is the
but-
one you've seen the
But
most.
Batman Begins is the first. It's the one I was most hype about when it first came out. I heard, oh, new Batman, because we're coming off from
Yeah.
George Clooney Batman. So
Yeah, I know.
When I
That's
started,
a big jump and big
yeah,
leap.
when they were started seeing
And then they
rumors,
brought him back.
yeah, we're not talking about that. They were talking about rumors about a new Batman, more grounded. They were naming actors. You know, they were saying Guy Pearce might be with even what's this guy, Cillian Murphy, who
Yes.
ended up being a Scarecrow. He actually read for that Batman role.
And the greatest thing is they brought him back for part 2.
Yeah.
For
And
part 3.
all three of them.
For
All
part
three of
3 is Scarecrow.
Yeah, yeah.
Because he wasn't. Yeah,
He-
Scarecrow wasn't
he
in
was
part
in-
2.
He's
at
in two.
all.
He's in
In
two.
the beginning, yeah.
Oh yeah, the very beginning. That's
yeah.
right. That's
Yeah.
right. That's right. At the very beginning. Yeah, established villain.
So I was very hyped for Batman Begins. When
Yeah.
it came out, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And when it came out on digital, because that's when DVD started coming out on digital, I had it on my. I'm dating myself. I had it on my iPod.
I do.
80 gigabit iPod. I had that in Goodwill Hunting, and while I was at work,
is it
at
the one
lunch,
I've seen the most?
While I was at
Because
work,
I have it on my. I still have
traveling.
it on my phone. It was the first movie I added to my Vudu account or
Yeah,
whatever account. So I'm trying to think. Like I watched that movie
For
on
me,
my
it was for
phone
sure the
a
first-
bunch of times.
the first digital movie I had.
yeah,
So,
same.
yeah.
So
same.
you watched it a
And I
lot.
watched it
So
a lot.
I watched
also.
it all the time because I had it on my iPod.
What did we see the most together that we binged? Was it Dark Knight?
That
or
was
it
the Dark Knight Rises. That was Dark Knight
You
Rises.
saw Dark Knight Rises like in the same week, like 4 times.
So for sure, two. I mean, I can't really say more about it. You already guys said it already.
Here's the thing about Batman, right? The
Nolan Batman.
The Nolan Batman, the first one, right?
Yeah, Batman Begins.
The thing that kills me on that movie, and I wish he would have just figured out a way to do it better, was the fighting scenes on that
Yeah,
movie.
because they're very close up. Yeah,
If he would have just a little
backed
bit
up.
back,
Yeah, but you got to remember the time. Born Identity was like the big thing.
Yeah.
So everything was. The first movie was
but
very
it didn't-
close up.
It didn't work for that.
It didn't
Batman.
work for that bad. It worked ish, right? But just a little bit of wide.
If he
a
would've
little bit
just
of
a
wide
little
angle.
bit, just go a little bit
which was
back.
great on the Batman that just came out.
Right.
Did it right because
Right.
you could actually see the
Right,
fight.
and that's the only thing because that movie is amazing.
It's great.
Batman
It's a great
Begins
movie.
is amazing.
It's like for me, honestly, it's right there with The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
But like you guys said that just the acting performances of Heath
Oh,
Ledger,
yeah, Heath Ledger was just- I
you know,
think Heath
everyone
Ledger
that's
was
there,
just blew that
he
away
changed
so
it.
But
much.
what I will tell you, fight coordination wise, in part 2 they got the filming of the fight scenes better and the
Yeah.
wider angle and all that. But fight coordination, the first one is
Oh, no,
it's
it's there.
fantastic.
Yeah.
It's
like
yeah,
the
'cause it's
act-
brutal
the
fighting. It's
actual
like-
style
but
of
it's
fighting.
so close and so
Yeah.
dark
Yeah.
that if
It's hard
he
to say.
would have just
Yeah.
that movie would have Probably be my number two.
But for
My
sure,
number
And
one.
I will tell you too, what I love is like, so we got what we got when Tim Burton did it. Nolan does a thing, and in fairness, when it comes to Batman fight scenes, since Nolan did Batman, they've all been better. Affleck's Batman fight scenes, incredible. That one with the building. And now in The Flash, Michael Keaton's Batman fight scenes, man, there's some brutal moments in that. Like,
and it matches with that type of Batman,
it does,
right?
It
It's
does.
not like what Ben Affleck
but,
was doing.
But that's what I'm saying.
Batman.
Right.
Nolan took the jump, and I'll be honest, that approach to reality, again, he developed like a full character of Bruce Wayne and Batman definitely being all one person. I mean, they are, but the concept of all being really one person, like it's all Batman and kind of a Bruce Wayne, or kind of like he really molded on one character, but it led to that real world mentality that then gets us the Batman with Robert Pattinson of the detective thing. Like there was no way you're going after the detective thing in any of the Tim Burton Schumacher, because it's so comic book that they lose that. And but because of Nolan of going, because he did do the detective stuff.
Yeah,
he did.
It just wasn't the main.
It wasn't the main focus because he did a lot of things about Batman. He did the fighting stuff. He did the detective stuff. He's a full package. But then that finally gave us the aspect like, hey, we can actually just explore that one part of it and get really deep into the detective part of it.
So
and which is amazing because that's the greatest thing about Ra's al Ghul in the animated series. He always calls him detective.
Which he is. Batman is,
and
he
is. He's Sherlock Holmes. Right? I mean,
well, Batman definitely had to be on my list.
So that's amazing. So we all have the same two. So that makes it a
it's
big
crazy
movie
because
it's on all three of our lists.
For years, I'm telling you, Dark Knight has always been top one.
Yeah.
It's hard to get that out of there. Top one, top two. Like there's no. Obviously, it all fluctuates on how you feel. What
at the
watching,
moment,
what's everything.
But, this list can easily change for any one of us in a week,
for sure.
if not days.
I will say that The Dark Knight and Man of Steel also are top 1 and 2 on my superhero movies.
Oh yeah, same
I wish
thing.
I could add Man of Steel in this.
Yeah. No, but as in superhero movies, those two on top. For me. And Batman Begins 3. But
100%.
So now we're gonna go.
I think we're gonna change this completely around.
So our number one.
We'll talk about it in another podcast.
Yeah.
But.
So our number one.
So
I'll start. I started. Yeah. So I'll start. So I'll finish. Oh wow.
I already know. I have.
We might all be. Oh no. He said his number one is not.
It's not the one that he's watched the most.
It's not the one I watched the most.
Batman Begins.
And it's not his top threes.
But we're all. I think.
Which was
so we're all gonna have the same number one.
I don't know. I don't think so. I think two
Tenet.
of us might have it.
I think two of you might have
Tenet.
the same
You
one.
view. Wow.
Tenet.
So Tenet. Sorry. Yeah, Tenet. I've that might be the one I've watched the most now. I'm gonna
piggyback already from the get go.
It's Tenet.
That's your number one.
Then he said he goes, I have a feeling we're going.
I had a feeling.
For me personally, what hurt it is also what made it so big for me is the COVID. Is during the era of COVID when you had more time at home on your hands, but I did get to see it in the theater. I did. I watched it.
You did
3 times in the theater. Twice. Saw it twice in the theaters, which I'm glad I did. And it was amazing. I saw it in XD, and then I saw it in IMAX. I saw XD with my wife, and then I saw it in IMAX with Jedi, with your brother. And what was even amazing is like there was so much going on. That's what I love about that movie. Is like you watch it over and over, and it's like, and I know you for the same reason as me. Is like going down the rabbit hole, looking at stuff on YouTube, looking at the the things about the name backwards and like, the tablet. What's it called again? The stone. That and like. I was focused. There was moments that even my wife caught something before I did. I always bring it up because it was so cool. I'm like, what? Like, yeah. And I was looking at so many things as we were already getting to a point in the film, that things were like, what is going on? Like when you're halfway through before you finally get the full reveal, and all this stuff is happening. And my wife goes, hey, and she kind of like your wife does this a lot, where she finds mistakes in movies.
Right.
She's really good at that. Like, oh, they left it in, not like a boom, but just like bad editing or whatever.
Yeah.
And she goes, hey, the side mirror's cracked. And I'm looking like, that's like, well, I guess they got a car with a cracked side.
No.
And no, it's because we're and I'm like, oh man. And that's when I realized like I have to see. I knew at that moment, the first time watching the movie, like I'm gonna have to see this movie so many times. Because there's gonna be so many damn details in this. And when you watch all the people who've done the animated videos and the breaking about, I was like, how long this must have taken, and the work that went into planning and the
to try
the
to
concept
make it so
to make
Yeah.
it work so
Forward
fluidly
and backwards
to
to
film
make it
all
work.
the scenes.
Yeah.
All these actors had to film all these scenes. The writer, each version in both ways,
Yeah.
so they could play. I mean, just like there would have been so many people that like, oh, this is such a great idea, and after day 3 of filming,
quit,
went,
yeah.
oh my god, what did we get into?
Yeah.
It has to, like, it just had to be. There had to be so many people on that staff that said like, yeah, like halfway through, like, oh, what did I do?
Yeah,
Until it was
yeah.
over, but it had to become so daunting, like so like stressful, and I mean, the pressure on that, like, this is so much work. Like, you can't just film a scene. Like, you almost feel never accomplished. It's like, already did, like, yeah, now we got to do it again, and now we got to do it again backwards, and now we got to do that again backwards, and now we got to do it like just the mentality.
It was so.
It's, you know what it's the
Such
equivalent
a
of?
great-
You had an entire cast had to do so many scenes where you always hear actors complain about this, which, you know, really Ezra Miller is not a very popular person right now, but I bet you his complaint will be what a lot of actors who have to play themselves in multiple parts will complain about. It's daunting because you got to film the scene, and then you got to film the scene again with the double.
With the other one,
and,
yeah.
and then you got to change. Sometimes you have to do it at the same moment, at the same time.
Yeah.
And we actually, when we flashback to one of our episodes, the Jason Font Q&A episode, he talked about it because he played twin brothers
On the
in the Power Rangers,
Yeah.
and he had to do that to like quickly change his hair and whatever, and then do the scene again, and like that, and that's simple compared to this,
Yeah.
where it's now it's like everyone in the cast has to do the scene again and do it again backwards and everything, the coordination, and then the special effects, which, you know, Nolan's good at not really overdoing special effects at all. He likes practical. Makes it even harder. It's just amazing. I mean, amazing, and again, great acting. Never. I only had seen him in Ballers.
John David Washington.
John Washington. John
Yeah.
David Washington. Denzel's kid. Who's like.
Do you think he acts like Denzel?
Not at all. Not at all. He's had moments.
He has little, but he doesn't. He's a very
in Ballers. You don't watch Ballers as much.
I don't. Actually, my wife watched.
Yeah, and Ballers, he has moments, and they're all the same kind of moment. So I have a feeling
It's
that
Denzel.
It's Denzel, but when Denzel, and I hate to say this, Training Day.
Denzel.
I have a feeling Denzel as the disciplinarian when he had that role as a father.
Yeah.
Is kind of like that, because you noticed in Ballers the same thing. He has that's learned behavior. That's how he yelled at him probably when he was a kid. I mean, I'm not saying to that extent, the hyperbole
just,
of King Kong, but like that
strict,
that
maybe a
gun,
very
like
strict,
He reminds me a lot of his father.
Yeah, I don't see it in the acting.
I don't in the acting, except for those moments, and that's what I'm saying, depending on the
He
role.
reminds me of his father.
Not for me.
You have to start watching. Well, you have to watch the older
Young
films.
Denzel. Yeah, I do.
The older films.
I do, and I
younger Denzel.
I see a lot of. I see a lot of his.
Younger mannerisms and.
I'm going to tell you where the obvious generation gap is. Obviously, because they're father and son, is I never like Idris, who's probably pretty close to age to Denzel Washington.
Closer.
Yeah, obviously a lot closer. But
Yeah.
Idris is kind of like, acting wise, generation wise, the middle between that father and son, in the sense that I never think swag when I think Denzel. Has he played characters with that swag, that like almost urban debonair? Like he has, but I don't think that about him. He's like, when you see,
As in real life.
yeah, in real life, like I don't know, not just real life. Like a lot of his characters don't carry that. He doesn't take that. He's played badass, like Man on Fire, but I don't get this like that football player, like that pizzazz. You know what I mean? Like I can really
The
see
kids
that.
call it Riz right
but
now.
the kid has it a
They
lot.
call it
He has
Riz.
so much. Yeah, well, there you go, Riz. So,
Yeah,
but that's
Riz.
what it's like.
Well, he has it in that
John
film.
David. Yes, but that's what I'm saying. But John David in general, like in Ballers, has it.
Yeah.
In this one, and the other one,
I think that's part
what is
of
it?
the
Black
character that he
Klansman.
needs to play.
Right.
Black Klansman. Then he's getting typecasted because that is in Black Klansman. No, even the most recent
In
one,
Black
Christian
Klansman,
Bale. Same thing. He just has like Michael B. Jordan. You know what I mean? He has like that.
I think Denzel had that too, man. It was just a
He does have
different
it.
for a
He
different
has it.
time.
It's just a different time.
The roles,
the way it looked,
roles
the
are
way
very
it
different.
felt, it was different.
It's just
It's a different
the
time period.
character,
It's a
man.
different
I'm
time
telling
period.
you, it's there. Like Denzel has always
see.
had that swag, dude. I'm telling you.
And
This is why I love Denzel. It's because he was so different from all the other actors that I was watching at that
Right.
time. I'm telling you,
He has that swag without overdoing it, like
He
Will Smith
doesn't
did.
overdo
Like
it.
Will Smith did in the '90s. He had that swag,
Yes.
but he overdid it.
He overdoes it.
Right.
this is what I
Will
mean.
Smith
Denzel was more
overdoes- he's
subtle about it.
But
Yeah.
But this is what I
has it.
mean.
Yeah.
But what I mean is like, but he has it intentionally for the role. He doesn't have that, like that's not his natural.
Also in
demeanor.
real life.
That's what I'm saying. That's not his natural.
Day to
That's in
day.
real life. I wouldn't believe that's his natural demeanor. I think
Are
that
we talking about Denzel?
the father, where the son, I think that is You understand? Like with the son, I think that
I
is
mean-
because he's younger.
No, not because he's young. I mean,
yeah.
he
It's a
was-
different
he
time
was
period.
born-
Different, yeah,
No,
because-
because he was born into a family of money.
Well, that
I mean,
too.
that's
Well,
what it
that-
is. He doesn't need to. It's not a thing that
No.
he just learned to be swag.
No, but
because
that'd
swag-
definitely help.
Because of
But
nepotism.
his father plays. I'm telling you, man. You
He
have
has
to-
the swag, yeah, he
listen,
does.
I am a big Denzel fan. I'm telling you right now. Watch any of his old movies.
I did.
He has that. Yo, but you're saying you did.
I
I'm
did.
saying
I do.
rewatch them.
Rewatch it in a
Dude,
different
the only
perspective.
time and why because he was an unseasoned actor and you see it because it's in a role that really didn't call for it, and it's when he got his Oscar nomination when that was for Glory. Because it's a Civil War film. It's like, yeah, this character shouldn't have swag, and it did because he was a young guy. And I think that, but it did.
And I don't think
it did
that
make
character,
it.
I don't think that character is swag. I think that
It's
character,
not swag, but that character, he has a confidence level that a slave wouldn't, you know what I mean, at that time wouldn't have had.
Well, because
but it's
he
what blew up
was-
his character, and obviously what makes that scene in that movie is you don't see too many. Like they made him a very tough exterior of a character. It's turning into a Denzel Washington.
Yeah,
episode.
yeah. This is turning too. We got like 10 more minutes.
Nah,
left, so.
we can have another 15, 20 easily. But he was playing a character that was a very rough exterior, a very confident person, and then they did that because the buildup was for the vulnerability of when he cries later, and
Right.
and
That's
that
the
he
whole
takes
point
it,
of that-
and
yeah,
that's the
that
whole
character.
point of doing that character that
Right.
way to then bring you up for that moment to have that impact on you. That look
Well,
like look what
yeah.
they did to this guy.
I don't want to turn into a Denzel.
We could do. We're gonna
into
do a Denzel.
We're gonna have to.
episode,
But
another-
just
Father,
to tell
son.
you-
We're gonna do a
just to
father,
tell you
son.
right now,
Yeah.
straight off the back, that is my favorite.
Number
Denzel
one.
is my favorite actor
Okay.
by
Denzel.
far.
All
He's
right.
great.
And
He's a
I'm
great actor.
telling you,
Yeah.
from being my favorite actor, 100%, that man has swag. It's subtle.
I'm not saying he doesn't
It's-
have it.
it's subtle.
All right,
I know.
all right.
But
So
it's
again,
there.
favorite actor Denzel, and his son is in your favorite Nolan movie. So
There you
Tenet,
go.
no, number one for you guys.
Yeah,
but that's
Tenet
good.
hands down.
Yeah, no,
Man,
it's
Tenet's
definitely
really
my
good.
favorite.
It's so good.
It's my number one.
No,
And the
Tenet's
soundtrack,
insane.
the score is
Oh
amazing.
my god, that's
Because it's
definitely the
mostly
most
like
listened to
sound
score.
effects. You know, it's not really
my
like.
number one.
That's definitely the score I've listened to the most. And here's the one thing that what I wanted to do. Oh, I think I know what his number one is. So I'm not going to say what I'm about to say until he says what his number one is.
But
Yeah.
but just to
Because I
not to
wanted
say
my
too-
number one to be a different number one, but I couldn't because I didn't dive as deep into this film. But I know what you're going to say. I have a feeling it's the impact that film had on me. But go ahead, you
Yeah,
finish.
that-
before
that
he
For
says
my
his one.
number one,
That
I think
movie-
I know what you know. I think I know now what
think
your
you
number
do, man.
one is.
Especially
and
since
I
you thought
wanted it to.
Insomnia.
I know, but I wanted it to be my number one. But I was like, I can't deny Tenet from my list. And I'll be honest, I would have to kick Prestige off my list, but Prestige will always be in my top three.
I don't think you know what my number one is gonna be.
All right, let's go.
You know what I love about Tenet?
What do you love about Tenet?
Dude, let me tell you what I love about Tenet. Is what's
Repo.
this guy's name?
Robert Pattinson.
Opera.
No, it's definitely
I'm gonna turn out.
Uh,
I'll be honest. That's what Tenet, and
Taylor
again,
Johnson.
again because Christopher Nolan's great with casting. That's the moment that I stopped hating right away on the possibility of him being a good Batman.
Robert, let me tell you something about Robert Pattinson.
I hadn't seen Lighthouse yet, and a couple other things
Even the
that I
Lighthouse
started
stuff,
watching.
He is actually a really good actor.
He really
in
is.
Other movies,
He
low
really
budget,
is.
you know,
I
independent
prejudged
movies.
him because of all the Twilight
With
stuff.
the Twilight stuff,
I
yeah.
love watching him die in Harry Potter because of it. And Goblet of Fire, which Goblet of Fire, my favorite
he did
things.
the best thing he could have done for his career. Did Twilight and then just do independent stuff or low
But
budget stuff
and
things
then
people wouldn't watch.
And
now
because
he's
of
an
that,
actor.
I didn't watch any of
Real
that
actor.
stuff.
Yeah.
So I just kept judging him based on Twilight because that was the first time he was big. Yeah. If you watch
He-
Goblet
yeah,
of Fire,
he-
he's great in Goblet of Fire because
No,
he's a
he
small
did-
he's
supporting
young.
role.
He's also young.
He did other things that were.
He did
yeah.
that. I went.
Nobody was telling.
I know,
people
and
to
I
go
started.
watch.
I started
exactly.
watching after Tenet.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I'm watching Tenet. I don't care who's in it.
Yeah.
It's Nolan. I'm gonna watch it no
Right.
matter
Yeah.
who the hell's in it. And I was like, you know what? This guy can play Bruce
Yeah.
Wayne. I go, that kind of felt like Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
I go, that, but what's crazy
he's good, yeah.
because that's not the version of Bruce Wayne he plays.
No,
he plays
it's
a
not.
version of Bruce
It's
Wayne I
not.
don't like.
Actually,
But-
the version of Bruce Wayne is
Yeah.
the guy from Tenet.
yeah,
That's the
exactly.
guy that I saw.
That's what I thought. I'm like, wait a
Yeah.
minute.
Yeah.
This guy is Bruce Wayne. And then when they gave me Bruce Wayne, like, that guy's a Bruce Wayne, I go, but that is Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That is a
for
Batman.
sure Batman.
That's a
Yeah.
young Batman for sure.
Yeah.
And it was great. And I was, again, thanks to Tenet, thanks to Nolan, I was
Yeah.
like,
No, my
thank you for
favorite,
giving me
my
that
favorite
confidence.
thing of that was the bad guy for sure.
Oh
Sator,
yes, he's incredible.
Kenneth, whatever.
Kenneth Branagh directed the first Thor movie too.
What?
Directed the first.
The good one.
The good one. The good
the
one.
first one. Man, it's the thing about Nolan. Once again, he
Surrounds
finds
himself with good people.
that he knows. He knows
He
an
finds
actor.
role players,
He sees an
you know?
actor. when he's writing this or when he's getting help, he sees something in these people, and he can like transform her, because the way that guy acts as a bad guy in that movie,
Yeah.
dude, I was like, holy shoot! Like,
I'll tell you the craziest thing with Tenet, and here's the thing. Almost Inception, you would almost want a sequel just to like know for sure if he made it out or not. It would be scary because if there's a sequel, then that means he didn't. You know what I mean? Like that,
Yeah.
that's what it would mean.
Yeah. I
don't want a
But
sequel.
there is
I
no
don't want a
movie
sequel.
I want a sequel more than any other movie in my life than Tenet.
He's never gonna do it. No,
I know he's not because he doesn't.
only did the Batman,
which
series.
is
That's
crazy.
it.
I know, which is crazy because I want a sequel to Tenet so bad for so many reasons. Because there's so many theories, and you know what I mean. So many things like this could play out so awesome,
Yeah.
like, and you want it all, like, and
Kick-Ass
all the
is in that.
yeah, no,
Yeah,
which is
Taylor
another
Johnson.
setup, such a
Taylor-
small part.
Taylor Johnson,
So
yeah.
many theories with that
Small.
character.
But they're saying that
And
he's the
incredible in
younger
that.
version of the Michael
Which
Caine
is saying
version.
because
Yes.
of,
So good, man.
Which
Yeah.
makes sense. No, that's
The Bubback
no,
was
no,
Robert
that's
Pattinson.
Bubback's Robert
That's
Pattinson, that
Robert.
he's the
And
kid.
then he's the other. Yes.
And it has to be the kid because he says that you recruited him. Like, why would you give me so many things? But it is a
Yeah.
complete story.
It is.
He
It's
gives
great.
you a complete
Full-
story.
full
And I'm gonna tell you now, no
story.
matter what.
And that's why we're gonna watch it right now.
Yes, and one of the, we should. And one of the best moments ever is, and I want to see the day. Like if I ever get to see John David in a panel or anything like that, I already know what my question is. I'm gonna ask it, which is. I ordered my hot sauce an hour ago. Whose idea was that?
Yeah.
Because I still give Nolan complete credit of going, that was ad-lib, but that is genius.
I think that
Because
is
is
ad-lib.
so out of left field for this movie
Yeah.
that it's always been, but it was just perfect.
Yeah,
And then he
it's
goes
perfect.
down with those guys.
Yeah.
Like
I'm telling you right now,
goes
that guy's
down
not
with
gonna
those
do a
guys.
panel for anything.
Of course
in
not. No, he's
years.
not.
For
What is
years,
it, the
bro.
creator?
If he does, he's gonna like
Yeah.
charge $300, which I'm not gonna.
You're not
do.
gonna.
Yeah.
Maybe for
Yeah.
Denzel though.
Yeah.
300 for Denzel.
No
is
kidding.
different.
Denzel.
Yeah,
Yeah,
of course.
Denzel.
Then the
So-
creator that's coming out,
should be
the
good.
previews for that,
and
amazing.
dude, that fight scene.
With the cheese grater and everything.
No, that
At the
fight
airport. At
scene
the
airport.
At the airport. Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
When everything
So
comes
good.
together,
Yeah.
and you're sitting
He had
there,
to film
seeing
that
it again.
both
and you're
ways.
sitting there,
Yeah.
and you're like, okay, that's I could.
And then you hear the music.
I could have literally
Hit-
just walked
Yeah.
away and be like, this is the greatest thing. Like,
That's why it's my number one.
It's number
like,
one.
I'm out.
That was my number one.
I'm out. That's
When-
I don't need to watch anymore.
when all
Thank
that
you, I'm
played out again, when he went back into reverse and it all
Genius.
played out, I'm just sitting there like, this is
Genius.
This is
and there's
incredible.
still people that don't like that movie. So let's go
I
on
know.
to your
To your
number
number
one.
one.
Tenet. No, it's not.
Yeah, we're gonna end on that. Yeah,
you said you thought
we're
you.
gonna
What was my number one?
You want me to guess first?
Yeah, I guess.
Dunkirk.
What do you think it is?
Do I have to guess your number
Go ahead,
one?
because this is great. You guys don't know.
Because if it's not Dunkirk, I know what it is.
Yeah, you have to know.
And I know what it is. Wow, it's number one?
Do,
It's a good movie, man.
I have to look at this list. I can't do this right now,
all right.
bro.
Can I take the second guess then?
No,
Another
don't
guess?
take a second guess. I'm
no,
trying.
he gets the other one.
Go ahead, go,
He gets
yo,
the other
please.
guess. That's it.
Your number one.
You should know. You should know.
He's gonna
This
say
movie,
it now.
this movie came out. I was super hyped for
He's
it.
going to say it now.
I thought about it all the time.
Then maybe I'm wrong again.
Your number one. Jesus, this is gonna be crazy.
I want to say I wanted my number one to be.
So you thought it was Dunkirk? Dunkirk is.
I
a
wanted
great
my number one to
movie.
be Dunkirk.
Yeah.
And what I was going to say, why he's looking to guess.
And it was so stressful.
Not
when
just
they're
that it's
sinking
stressful
and
because you're talking about the
and
sound effects. That's why I thought it was
soundtrack.
me when you said sound effects.
Score, yeah.
The fact that ticking clock.
Yeah.
And we saw it together in
We
the
saw it
Discovery
together,
IMAX. I don't know if you noticed. My knee, from the moment it set off that the first shot got
Yeah.
fired over the line, did not stop.
Did not stop.
I had
I
the
did notice.
worst
I don't
case
know.
of restless leg syndrome in my
if I
life.
We were
between
both like that.
His Inception or The Prestige. It's one of those two for him.
I think it's a Memento.
Oof.
It's Memento.
Oh.
It's not Memento.
Which one is it? You got it. Inception.
Wow.
Inception's my number one. And I like that you guys didn't know what.
Inception is your
Well,
tenant.
because it's one of the dude.
I love Inception.
Tom Hardy.
No, you don't understand how much I love
No,
Inception.
I can
I
imagine.
jammed
Tom Hardy.
You
to-
don't have to tell me.
I jammed. That's your number three. It's
my number three.
I jammed to that soundtrack
Yeah.
constantly. When that, which isn't actually like, I mean, that's more of the trailer. That's actually more of the trailer, but
and it worked.
and it worked.
It
It changed trailers
It
for the
changed.
next like 7
He
years.
still changes trailers
Look,
all the time, which I love about.
Listen,
it.
that bong thing changed how everyone made trailers for 5 to 6 years until Suicide came out,
Suicide.
and
That
then
is
everything's
the whole
music,
music
which is still the thing right now. But I hope it changes.
Oh, he did it with Dunkirk.
With Dunkirk, with the time,
That
the
timing
clock,
thing is
yeah.
crazy, bro.
I mean, it's not much I could say about Inception.
No,
It's
yeah.
just great. I love the fact that you could see a lot of his love for Bond films.
Right.
Yes.
The way certain things are shot, you could tell he is a Bond.
Which is Tenet too.
fan.
Like
Tenet
how
also.
Nolan hasn't done Bond,
Yeah.
but I'm glad because he did Tenet.
Yeah,
Yes.
I don't need him to do.
That's like
which
that's one
would
of the
be
most
amazing,
superior
but-
spy films
I don't need
ever.
I
Yeah,
don't need
Tenet.
the way, I mean, the way it was shot, the score, sound effects, just the story, both being the heist, right? It's a mind heist.
Yes.
Nice.
It's
heist.
basically
That's amazing.
It's basically Heat, right? Well, he did some of Heat in the Dark Knight.
Yes.
But he also has a love story with the wife and the children. And
Very deep.
Where you ever see his kids again. I mean, it's very, very deep. And the lucid dreaming of it all. And it's everything I like about Nolan in just one movie, in one Nolan film.
Well, for sure, that's the culmination of Inception leads to Interstellar,
Right.
leads to Tenet. What other director, maybe a Spielberg, but not in that way.
Right.
You know what I mean? Not in the way Nolan does it. Would have the mind to have that type of thought about reality and science and just basic reality. I mean, what would say just reality, that the reality we live in is like it's Matrix-ish.
Right.
You know what I mean? That concept of like, is the world we live in really bound to these
what is-
rules?
right.
And the level of thought that goes into that. And obviously, I think the biggest deviation would be Inception because it's pretty much our time. That he didn't do like a 20-year jump into the future.
It was our
like
time,
that.
yeah. It was
You know what I
2010,
mean? So it's like
2011.
it feels really weird, but it is the concept like of even Tenet and stuff too. It's like, well, yeah, that is a type of technology that would be hidden. You know what I mean?
Right.
That wouldn't be a
wouldn't-
common
I
thing.
mean,
Exactly.
Military
Like,
would use it.
exactly.
Before anyone,
but it was like a little bit more mainstream than
Yeah.
that was acceptable because of like they had like the dens, like an opium den, but it was
Right.
Inception dens, like people don't mind. But here we are and VR, and it kind of touches on a lot of things.
A lot of things, yeah.
That,
I mean,
not to that level, but it's metaphoric and just it's almost like the best episode of Black Mirror ever.
And then they have the
at
twist
beginning of it.
after everything they've gone through, the heist,
And the casting,
casting.
everybody in their part is like, I'll be
perfect.
honest. I mean, obviously you saw it made sense for Joseph Gordon-Levitt
Right.
to be
That
technically
scene.
Robin,
That
Right.
scene.
because you see him in that fight scene and his
Yeah.
demeanor and his person, and Tom Hardy.
And it was done. It was.
There's no CGI.
There's no CGI in
There's
that
no
scene. He
CGI.
actually
Dude,
I love
rotated
that
the
so
room
much.
while he's running. I mean, the way he does things in those movies, like the train going through the. Also, he did that in the street. Like,
Beautiful. And
it's so many-
then they're going from the dream into the
To another
dream,
dream.
into
Yeah.
the dream.
The glacier coming
to the-
down were
to the-
models.
Yes, and to the nerve-wracking moment of this is all happening at the
same
different
time.
but because this one's deeper,
Yeah.
it's happening faster. This is happening slower,
Yeah.
but it's happening.
And then there's the
to-
little bit of the
and
anxiety
the car
that he
is
does in
crashing
Dunkirk.
off the
Yeah.
bridge. Like
Yeah.
you're like, ah, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, and all that with the score, and then remember the heist isn't really the main story. It's the
And
kids
Leo.
and the wife, right? So
Yeah.
at the end, all of that chaos, and then
It's
at the end,
because
it goes back, and it's just like, all right, did it move? Did
he?
is he
here?
in? Is he out? And then you got to think about that, and then he doesn't tell us directly.
And he
So it's
never
just
tells you.
it's just a great twist. It's just amazing
is.
twist. It's
it's genius.
It's
a
something
wobble. It's a wobble. I'm
bet-
saying
I'm
saying
gonna
it's a
say it's a
wobble.
wobble.
You think it's a wobble, or you don't think you're not the wobble camp again? What was it?
you mean wobble as in he's still in the
He's
dream?
still he's alive. Like,
alive.
No, I think he made it out.
He made it.
out.
Yeah, I think it has to be.
It has to be. For
But,
it to.
but you can say that that's
But you-
what
you
he
could say
wanted
he
to
wasn't.
end. That he wanted to live his life in a dream for the rest of his life. You can say
Yeah,
that.
the
that
whole
was his
point.
perfect moment.
But the
for,
issue-
for
The
that.
whole point is it doesn't matter to the character. He already accepted that
Just
no
to the
matter
character,
what,
but it
he's
matters
going
to
to
all.
be with his
gonna
children.
happen.
But it
He's
matters.
gonna be happy.
But the problem is, it matters to all the other characters because now I don't know what happened outside in the world.
Well,
Did the-
all the other characters got out.
We don't know that.
Yeah, no, all the other characters
If
got
he's
out.
still in the dream, how do we know that? That means he woke up thinking he's awake.
He never wakes up.
That means we're no.
He never wakes up.
Which means we never longer saw the real world again. We don't know what happened in the
But
real
we
world.
see the
We
other
don't
characters
care.
wake up. No, we do see. the
That's when
characters
he
wake up.
wakes
but I'm
up.
saying-
No, we see the characters
he doesn't
in the
wake up.
plane.
He wakes up looking at them, and they look at him.
Right, but we also see the scene of them already waking up, seeing him asleep, and they're like, "Oh shit, he's
Yeah,
still
but
asleep."
the Asian guy, what's his name now?
It's
from-
only Ken Watanabe's
Wait, Ken
character
Watanabe-
and
Yeah.
Leo that are left.
So you're saying they're both still stuck in the dream,
Then
It could-
you
in a
see the
different
scene,
level of the dream.
You see the scene of
if they didn't get out.
If
I'm
it
saying.
could be.
right. It could be
But
exactly.
then the others wake up.
The other
I
guys
don't
are
care.
out.
Honestly, I don't care about the other characters at
Right.
this moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I care about, is he in the dream?
Right.
Or did he
Which
wake
is the
up?
main story. The main story is always going to be Leo and his
Yeah.
family.
Yeah, exactly.
And,
Yeah.
and at that moment, you can
right.
say he found happiness because his children's are there.
Yeah.
He
And
decided
he
to look at his
decided
children.
never to go back into wake
Right.
up again.
Right.
That's
Yeah, but for
okay.
how long? They gotta take him to the hospital. He can be on life support the rest of his life.
It doesn't
Doesn't
matter.
matter.
That's still
That's
his life.
the way
Flipping
he
that
was.
bill.
That's the way he was.
That's still his life.
It's not gonna be a
There's
happy
people-
ending.
there's
Because at some
people in
point he's gonna
hospitals right
die.
now and nobody's flipping that
No, I
bill.
understand.
So I'm just saying.
Listen, he's still living
I'm
his
just
life
saying.
in the dream world.
You know?
I mean,
Dude,
And
Cillian
that's what he's
Murphy Murphy,
happy.
and I say, look, like each story had that deep, like the Cillian Murphy story with
About
his
the father,
the
yeah, with the Tom
pinwheel and all
Berenger,
that.
and
Like,
he
it
used
was-
Tom Berenger.
Yes,
as
yes,
an older actor.
Again,
fantastic.
bro.
Tom
Yeah.
Hardy,
Yeah.
genius.
So-
Yes, Inception. number
Watch
one.
Sniper 1, Tom
Christopher
Berenger's
Nolan.
in that.
Yes, you have to watch that.
Billy
You have to
Zane.
watch that.
Watch that.
You have to watch
There you
that.
go.
And the
Sniper.
substitute.
And
And the substitute. Well,
and
always the
Danger
substitute.
Zone. Going to the Billy Zone. So we're gonna definitely go. There you
Oh,
go.
that's it.
Wrap it up,
Well,
bro. Just in
right
time. We did
on
good,
time.
man.
All right.
We
So
did
you're
good.
number one.
My number one.
is my number
well, Our
one.
number one, Tenet.
Tenet.
Yeah,
And your
mine's
number one is
Inception, which is your number 3.
And then
Which
going
is my number
backwards,
three.
number 2, Dark Knight.
Dark
Dark
Knight.
Knight.
Dark Knight.
Dark Knight.
Dark
So we
Knight.
all
Number two.
equal on number 2, and then number 3s we had different. I had Prestige,
What did I have in number 3? Oh, number 3 was in Interstellar.
Interstellar,
For today.
and
Inception.
and Inception.
Yeah.
You dropped on the number 3. So Dunkirk didn't make the list.
But and I've seen Dunkirk so much.
And that's why, but see, same thing. Like,
So
literally, you can
much.
ask me a month from now to be Dunkirk. But
I've
now let's see
seen
what
it
happens
so
to
much.
Oppenheimer.
By the way, I've seen these movies
All of them.
constantly.
Yeah, same
he's
here.
my favorite.
Same.
I could say that he's my
You know
favorite
what's
director.
funny?
No, I don't
Straight
do a
up,
full
so-
rewatch like you do.
I do.
I tell you what's
rewatch all the time.
funny.
Yeah.
I'm literally watching right now. I stopped watching it because we had to leave, but I'm watching The Following right now.
The Following's
As we
great.
speak, it's
Yeah.
on
Gotta watch it
Tubi
again.
for free.
It's very good.
What?
But
I'm
do they
watching
have
it
it
tonight.
the way that he meant it, like the going backwards, the different scenes, or do they have it?
No, they have
Straight
it in
up.
a linear.
They have it
in a
linear.
linear.
Yeah, because they
Chronologically?
do it twice.
Yeah, I think that this one is in the linear.
In the linear, yeah.
version.
Both of them are good, but
Yeah.
that's where he got Memento. The
Yeah.
idea from Memento. Just
But
Memento.
it's
Mento's
good.
genius.
It's good, man. I'm watching that right now. It's just, I'm not even lying.
Yeah,
it's
I'm
in
gonna-
my
I'm gonna watch
Tubi.
it tonight.
I can show it to you.
Nerdcessity.
Nerdcessity, I guess.
Well, we said was Memento. I think we were gonna put
Memento.
I think Memento's the
Memento,
Nerdcessity.
yeah.
as a nurse.
At this
Listen
point-
to the original story. Jonathan Nolan wrote it.
Yes.
The original short story.
You can put the link here.
Yeah, but listen
There
to
you
it. I'll put the link, the
There you
YouTube
There
link.
you go.
That
YouTube
camera.
link.
YouTube link right here. Listen to the Jonathan Nolan story. And actually, maybe I shouldn't because you shouldn't do it. Buy the Jonathan
Yeah,
Nolan story,
check it out. Get the
and
Jonathan
then
Nolan
watch Memento. It's a
Yeah.
great movie.
Yeah, I will say on that wrap up that yeah, Memento is a fantastic necessity. Just and odds are a lot of people have not seen that now. Like, how many years has it been that number one that we've been doing this for fun, and that it's I saw that Blockbuster. I think I rented that from Blockbuster.
Yeah,
That's
1998,
yeah, that's how long ago
99.
I
Yeah,
read.
that's a long time.
I saw that
Show us
and
your
yeah,
age.
and
Tell
I
us your
yeah
age.
no, and I had no clue about that film.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Nolan wasn't a
It's-
thing for me yet.
Right.
Actually, and he wasn't much of a thing. for
Nolan
me
wasn't a thing
after
for anyone.
either.
I think,
he wasn't much of a thing. I
no,
just
I don't
I just
think-
remembered the film and respected the
Yeah.
film.
I
Guy
can tell
Pearce
you-
is the reason I watched it.
Yeah. I
can
I'm a
tell
big
you-
Guy Pearce fan, and at that time I was a Guy Pearce fan, and I watched that film and I was like, this is insane.
think I'm
Well,
in the same
actually,
boat.
and Pans from Matrix and
Yeah.
him. Once I saw those two actors, I was like, oh,
Cypher.
Cypher. I was like, this would be interesting, and wow, was it interesting? And I was like, oh. Wow.
See, in any other day, that would be the list. That would be on the list.
Yeah, no, it's hard. Like, and I said,
Yeah.
like the fact that Dunkirk isn't for me. Like, and I said, like, that was so impacted by that film. Like, I remember,
Yeah.
but I've only seen that one probably like 4 times
And
total. Where all the other
on
ones
top
it's in
of the
double
Batman,
digits.
Batman Begins is the one I've seen the most. The one I've seen the most in theaters was actually Dark Knight Rises with you.
Yeah, we saw that way too many times.
We saw it like 4 times.
I think Man of Steel's only the which is a Nolan connection anyway. He produced and
So,
but,
yeah.
but yeah, Man of Steel's the only other film I think I've seen as many times in my adulthood. Jurassic Park, I'll never beat
Yeah.
that because I was in the dollar theater when I was a kid during the summer. I saw it 2-3 times a day for like 2 months.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
it's
that's why I
crazy.
saw
Yeah, I can
Operation
never beat
Condor
that.
a million times.
Yeah,
And
we don't
then
have dollar
number
theaters no more.
dollar.
Man, they need to bring back a dollar
theaters.
theater. Like seriously, we need dollar
All right,
theaters.
so let's wrap this up.
All right, that's it. Wrapping it up.
Thank you.
Make sure to check out our previous episodes. We
Like,
got all
comment,
kinds of stuff coming
share.
up, more episodes, good stuff. But we got to wrap up because there's another studio, another people going to use this studio. So yeah, shout out to the AV Club,
AV Club, not the VA.
Like not
Not
the
the
VA. That'll be in
Club.
our stories
AV.
later.
Yeah.
But shout out to them. This is a great studio, great atmosphere. We'll be doing more from here, here and there, and of course, our old versions of just from home and doing more
Yep.
video and just everything.
More
So,
there than here, but yes.
Yeah, more there than here probably.
Thank you for watching. Thank you for
Thank
clicking.
you.
All right.
Omega saying peace.
MSK, peace out.
Yo, peace. Pitas. Pita.
And there you have it, folks. This has been Fanatically Correct. Until next time, you crazy kids. Signing off.
I ordered my hot sauce an hour ago.